Welcome to the second episode of the series Discipline at Will. The question we will focus today is, why do you indulge in bad habits and how can you stop that? But, first of all, what is a bad habit? A bad habit is something you do to experience instant pleasure now, even though you know it will come at a cost in the future. How do you recognize a bad habit? It's easy to recognize a bad habit after you've indulged in it. Beforehand, your mind generates a multitude of excuses, rationalizing that it's not really a bad habit. However, after the fact, you might feel guilty, ashamed, or sad, wishing you had made a different choice. Why do you indulge in bad habits? There are mainly 6 reasons. Reason 1: survival instinct over success. Your brain is wired to prioritize survival by seeking immediate comfort and pleasure. This instinct aims to alleviate stress or discomfort in the present, even at the expense of long-term happiness and success. Reason 2: fear of change. Change threatens your brain's desire for certainty and stability. Bad habits provide predictability, while change requires venturing into the unknown, which can feel uncomfortable and risky. Reason 3: avoidance of emotional pain. Bad habits often serve as a shield against confronting deep emotional pain, whether it's unresolved fear, anxiety, or sadness. Indulging in habits like overeating, smoking, or mindless scrolling provides temporary relief from uncomfortable emotions. Reason 4: low self-esteem. If you struggle with low self-esteem, you may believe you don't deserve success. This belief can lead to engaging in bad habits that reinforce a negative self-image and keep you from pursuing opportunities for growth. Reason 5: ego and identity attachment. Your ego clings to bad habits because it views them as part of your identity. Letting go of these habits can feel like a little death to your ego, as it fears losing what defines you. The ego resists change because it is attached to a familiar sense of self, even if that self is tied to negative behaviors.
If you want to increase your discipline, subscribe to Adam Mentor.
Reason 6: conflict between conscious goals and subconscious desires. Your subconscious may have a deep desire to change aspects of your life, such as your job, relationship, or living situation, but struggles to communicate this clearly to you. Instead of expressing these desires directly, it may push you into bad habits as a way to cope with the dissatisfaction you feel. This disconnect can manifest as indulging in behaviors that provide temporary escape rather than addressing the underlying urge for change. How to avoid indulging in bad habits. Here are 12 useful strategies that you can apply regardless of the underlying reasons for your bad habits, which may often overlap. Some of them are positive strategies, things you should start doing. Some of them are switching strategies, things you should replace. Others are negative strategies, things you should stop doing. Negative strategies. Strategy 1: avoid implicit rewards. Never use bad habits as an implicit reward after a bad day or a stressful situation. When you catch yourself thinking, "I deserve this," pause and remember past times you indulged in that habit. It's a lie. The discomfort may vanish for a few moments, but it will inevitably return, often feeling worse. Strategy 2: avoid explicit rewards. Do not use bad habits as an explicit reward for achieving something positive, e.g., respecting your diet. Doing so can undermine your progress very often in that same area and condition your brain to associate rewards with bad habits, leading to indulgence even when results aren't achieved. Strategy 3: avoid future reward justifications. Refrain from using bad habits as a reward for future good behavior, e.g., "I'll binge today because I'll start a diet tomorrow." Recognize this mental trick and stop it when it starts. Strategy 4: reject destiny mentality. Stop telling yourself that indulgence is due to the fate, e.g., they're offering free alcohol or snacks. It should be a divine sign that I deserve it. It's always your choice. You have the power to decide. Switching strategies. Strategy 5: shift your perspective. Stop thinking in terms of right and wrong. These terms can trick your mind, e.g., "It's okay to treat myself after a stressful day," right? Instead, Understand if an action is moving you closer to your goals or taking you further away from them. Of course, you need to have goals, but it is a topic that we will deepen in the next episodes. Strategy 6. Adjust self-criticism. Stop being overly critical of your past self, the one who indulged in bad habits, while being too permissive of your future self, who may indulge. It should be the opposite. Forgive your past mistakes. After all, you can't change them, but be inflexible regarding your future behavior. Strategy 7. Stop waiting for the perfect future you. Don't wait for your future self to become perfect and free from bad habits. This notion is a lie. The only way to achieve that future version of yourself is to start taking the right actions now. Otherwise, tomorrow you will just be a little older, less motivated, and less disciplined. Strategy 8. Consciously replace default responses. Stop using a bad habit as a default response when you're bored or stressed. Instead, consciously replace it with a good habit that is frictionless, convenient, and offers at least a small amount of instant pleasure. Positive strategies. Strategy 9. Use the 9-minute rule. Delay indulging in a bad habit for just 9 minutes, telling yourself that you can do whatever you want after that time has passed. Very often the urge will be over after those 9 minutes. Strategy 10. Increase friction for bad habits. Remove temptations from your home or make indulging in bad habits less convenient. Strategy 11. Surround yourself with positive influences. Spend time with people who do not engage in the bad habits you're trying to break. Strategy 12. Establish an accountability team. Form a small accountability group of 2 or 3 people with whom you can openly discuss your bad habits, and form them whenever you indulge, so that the pleasure derived from that indulgence comes at the cost of admitting your setback to others. These are just a few strategies among many. Other techniques, such as meditation, usage of brain waves, or conscious rewiring, can also be effective, but those will be explored in future episodes. Even if you start by applying just 2 or 3 of these strategies, your chances of success will increase dramatically. Thank you for sticking with this episode until the end. See you in the next episode, where we'll discuss goals and how to set them to achieve the best version of yourself.